right, welcome back, everybody. This is our coach rivals. We're continuing our week one. We just finished our first game. It was the Goon Squad versus Ready Set Sit Down. The Goon Squad was able to take it out, and now we're ready for the next one. I am Jason.
I'm Riley, aka Cheeky Bastard, and we're here for game number 2, correct? Or
That
this
is
3?
correct. Yep, game 2. Thanks for joining us, Riley. So these two teams that we're going to be watching here. One team, the first, they're all the characters, the cartoon characters we got on there. There's kind of a funny story behind that one. I guess one of them said, "Hey, I don't know if I really want to, show myself as a picture," and the other said, "Well, then let's do something else." And so they made themselves all cartoon characters. Hilarious. And then they're going up against the yummi nauti, the play on a couple of champion names there. Lots of fun. So, all right, looks like they're going into the ban process. Sorry, didn't get to introduce ourselves too much, but let's move on over to that. Okay, so what can you tell us, Riley, about some of the characters that they're banning here?
I can't see who they're banning, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
that is
Here,
an
I just
issue.
swapped it over. Are you watching through the? Do you have the link?
I'm on the Coach Rivals stream, but it's not up to date completely. There it goes.
Okay.
It's a bit of a delay.
Yeah,
so.
there is. There's a bit of a delay. Okay, so maybe I'll kind of describe what's going on here. They've picked their first 3 bans, both teams, and now they are picking their first pick of heroes. So Eschewing Obfuscation has banned Cassiopeia, Zerath, and Malphite. 3 picks that I'm sure that they scouted out in their opponents. And then they have picked their first pick, which is going to be Maokai. One of my favorites, definitely a top lane player. Although there have been some Maokai builds that are actually junglers. And then the Illuminati banned Oriana, Tristana, and Amumu. Again, probably picking some heroes that they were a little worried about their opponents playing. And then their first pick is going to be Malzahar.
Yep, I am. I'm relatively caught up. I'm a bit delayed, but I know Matt and MG Flory has been practicing that Malzahar a lot, so be ready to see that going mid.
Yes, that is definitely going to be a new role for him. In fact, he's more used to playing a jungle of any of the others, so it's interesting. Some of the members, some of the coaches here have kind of taken one for the team. They've been paired up into a different role, and so some of them are kind of learning something new.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's the one with the most game experience, so it makes sense to put him in mid to making those shot calls. But yeah, he mostly jungles in top lane, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs here, playing that mid lane.
Yep, definitely. All right, so the first 3 picks of both teams, we got Maokai, Lulu, and Ezreal for Eschewing Obfuscation, Team Blue. And then we have Malzahar, Leona, and Kaisa for the Illuminati. Can you tell us a little bit about what these characters might do in relation to each other?
Yeah, so on the red side, the Illuminati or Illuminati, whatever it is, you have Malzahar, who has his ult actually has like a 6-second suppress, so it's a really hard thing. It's like really hard CC. So that'll set up into Leona and Kaisa really well. Kaisa's ult actually, she can jump to CC, and she kind of plays like an assassin when she plays AD carry. So she'll be looking for a lot of good backline ults, following up on the Leona R and the Malzahar ult, which they all do a ranged CC that's like pretty heavy. So be on the lookout for that. You're seeing a lot of heavy engage or disengage champs being banned out by Illuminati, but obviously it's probably based on comfort picks here for them.
Yeah, most likely.
Side.
Yeah. All right. So Eschewing Obfuscation has finished their bans. They have also banned Renekton and Urgot, 2 very powerful characters, both usually played in the top lane, although Renekton can be played in the mid lane. And then the red team has banned Diana and Shyvana. All right, and they're moving into their picks. Mordekaiser picked for Team Blue. That's usually a top pick right there. So Mordekaiser is probably going to be their top laner, which means Maokai might be their actual jungler. And then their final pick is V. Oh my goodness. Also, isn't V usually a top lane, or is she also a support?
So yeah, so it's Vi, and she is a jungler actually.
Okay.
So She
Okay.
is the jungle.
Wow.
I
Very
think it's
interesting
I
picks.
think it's Lulu mid actually here, or
Okay.
Mordekaiser mid. Yeah, it's
Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser mid,
Hmm.
Maokai top, Vi jungle, Ezreal AD carry, and Lulu support.
And Riley here. It's Riley, right?
Yep.
Riley is testing his what do you call it? His memory, because some of these haven't even been shown yet. Um, okay, so it looks like yep. We've got on the red team red. They finished their picks out with Warwick and Darius. Okay.
I mean, just an overall like heavy pick comp. They have a lot of engage. Warwick also has that same suppression ability that Malzahar has. He jumps on a target from range. He gets bonus movement speed for running at targets at low health. So you're going to look at a lot of heavy engages from the Warwick and the Leona, and then Malzahar to follow up, or even Malzahar engaging. Like their team has so much hard engage that it's going to be really hard for even just Ezreal, who has a dash into his kit, to get away just because of all the heavy engage. But look for the Mordekaiser ult to pull him into the Death Realm and the Vi ult to kind of help with the disengage. So it'll be
Yeah.
an interesting game because they have a lot of good disengage on their end as well. And the Lulu ult actually stops any suppression onto a champion. So if so let's say Warwick ults onto Ezreal and Lulu ults Ezreal, Ezreal will be like uncc'd after that. So it'll knock the Warwick up and they can keep fighting. So a lot of outplay on both teams, so it'll be interesting to see how each side does.
Excellent. Love the insights that you've got here. Yeah, they've definitely got some very aggressive plays here. The Team Red, the Illuminati, just has, yes, like you said, some very hard engages. Darius has some huge amounts of damage that he can put out and pull somebody in. Like there's there's going to be some very interesting team plays, I think.
Yeah, I think overall, sustained damage on the side of the red team is a little bit less than on is it Eschwing or Eschwing or however you say their name. EO.
Eschewing
Eschewing.
Obfuscation. Yeah, we'll just call him Team Blue.
On their side, I think they have a little bit more sustained damage with the Lulu because she can supply a buff to each champion to make their auto attacks do more damage, and I just think Mordekaiser and Ezreal can just put out a lot more damage in the team fight than a Kaisa who is prone to getting blown up because of her short auto attack distance.
Yep, very much so. Interesting champs that they've selected. Definitely. I'm playing top. I played top last season. I got used to playing Maokai, Malphite, Ornn, and Mordekaiser. So a couple of these champs I am actually recognizing, and so it's interesting for me, just from my perspective, to see some of the plays that are going on here. How about yourself, Riley? What do you like to play?
I've played the game a lot. I don't have a life, so this is what I do. And season one, or the first, not season one, the first season I played, I jungled. I was really bad. Then the second season I played more mid lane. And this last season I've been playing top lane, but season before this, AD carry. I've been playing for like 5 seasons now, so I've played every role a little bit.
Goodness, you've also got a lot of longevity in the game too.
Yeah, it's addictive for sure. So
Yeah, I joined in the game some time ago and played it a little bit with some of my friends, but I have to admit it had been a good almost 3 or 4 years since I had last played, so a lot had changed when I came back just this last season.
it's crazy how much this game changes over the seasons.
Mm,
So
yeah, definitely. And as we've been talking about in the previous game, a lot of the changes that they tend to make are ways to make the game have some interesting ebb and flow with the setting up the tempo of the game. In the nature of it, it's kind of a tug of war, right? You got one side fighting against the other. Both teams all start at the same 0 level. A lot of them are, of course, going to have different abilities and different ways of playing and that kind of thing. But overall, it's just it's going to it's going to start snowballing as the teams take objectives, as they push their lane better than the others, as they start taking out all the turrets and various other things that happen. It's a very much a back and forth.
yeah, one thing to note is it is all about small advantages, right? And you might not see them in like lower ranked games, but like the small advantage is the small vision you get and the small amount of territory that you can hold for yourself. Like you guys talked a lot about vision in the last game, I heard. That's one thing that is really important for this game because you really want to make sure that the territory you're controlling, you know everything that's going on around it, right? And
Yep.
the map starts 50-50. Each team has 3 towers protecting their front line, the tier 1 towers, and then it goes back to tier 2 and then tier 3, which are the inhibitor towers and then the nexus towers, right? So
Yep.
you're really just trying to hold your territory and get small advantages in every part of the map that you can. The river is contested technically, so that's like the first fight is over the river, and then you move forward from there. The first 10 minutes really should be better for Moon Pie because it is a Nunu, and the clear speed on Nunu and the gank ability that he has with his snowball is insane. So
Very, very cool. Now you've joined the spectate, right?
hold on, am I looking at the right game? I am looking at the wrong game. I feel like.
Are you in the what do you call it? Are you in the Twitch?
Minions have spawned.
See if you can find the game with MG Flory in it.
Going weird. Like, I don't think Twitch. I'm pretty sure that.
Wait a second. You're right. These characters are completely different. What am I doing?
This isn't the right game.
No, it's not. I'm seeing Nami. I'm seeing Ramus. Okay. Sorry, folks. I do not know what's going on. I'm just gonna exit out of here.
Yeah, I think we're still waiting for spectator delay, so you're good. I'm actually spectating MG Flory's game right now, so.
Really? Oh, you're in it?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay. I'll try and get
You're
in
good.
there soon. Looks like some of the folks from our previous teams might be, or just some of the other teams are just taking some practice. All right. Sorry about that, folks.
It's alright, they haven't gotten into the game.
No, they haven't.
Yet,
Yeah,
so.
you're right. Okay, they got another 37 seconds. Okay. Whew. Well, hey, cool. We at least got to take a peek into somebody else's game there and talk a little bit about some of the mechanics. But yeah, I appreciate your
Those aren't
insights.
the right junglers. I was like, Vi should be in there.
Right? I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, hey, look at this. Hey, look. Oh, they're gonna try a team invade, and then you started mentioning some things, and I had to pay closer attention. So cool. Well, hey, let's talk about some of those small gains that you talked about. Like, I've been trying to make a point to talk a little bit about some of the things that a lot of newer players may not know about in this game. Let's talk about farming and kills. What can you describe about the small gains that you get in each of your lanes?
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to be looking for those small leads, like I was saying earlier, with farming and kills. And honestly, beginner players prioritize kills way harder than they should.
And that's killing the opposing heroes, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. If you kill the opposing champion, then you get 300 gold, 400 gold for the first blood, and then 200 for the person that assists. And it's kind of spread out based on the amount of people around. You also get you actually get experience as well for killing someone. But if you get, I believe it's 15 to 25 farm, I don't quite remember the number, you get the same amount of gold. So honestly, if you just farm really well and you play extremely safe and passively, and by that I mean just backing up when they're walking towards you and just respecting their damages, then you can actually win the game. You just need to make sure you're hitting every CS and you're killing each minion. What happens is if you don't hit the minion to kill it, you won't get the gold reward for killing it, right?
That's right. The last hit on all the little minions, the basic little AI characters that are running down the lane, are a great source of experience, but also source of gold. But you don't get the gold unless you land the last hit. We call it CS, which stands for
Creep score.
Creep score. So yeah, that's right, and that's what farming is. Farming is basically getting those last hits and gaining gold and experience. Now, experience you can gain if you're just standing next to them, right? When they die.
Yeah, you get experience for standing in proximity to them. You don't need to be right next to them. I think it's like if you're standing in the middle of mid lane and you're standing about right where the walls of the river are towards where the creeps are hitting each other at the middle of the lane, you'll still be getting experience, maybe a little bit further out. But you have some space to kind of stay back and proxy the XP and try to get yourself leveled up. While if you're getting really hardly like beaten in a lane, that's like one way of like trying to hemorrhage a loss is making sure you don't get out leveled super heavily by the other team.
That's right. Especially me, like the champions that I tend to play are usually the ones that scale up really slowly. They become very powerful later on, but early they can be kind of pushed out of the lane. Often you don't get a lot of good farm because the other champion is just bullying the lane, and if you try and get in there, that champion will take a bunch of your health and just get good trades all around, and it can be very dangerous. And so, sometimes... Go ahead.
That's one thing that you want to look out for the top lane. Maokai, he is very strong, and he does scale very well, and he actually isn't like super unsafe, but he gets absolutely bullied by Darius early on. So he has to be really safe in how he plays this, and if he plays a little too overextended and Darius gets a good trade on him, he can easily kill him.
Yep, absolutely. So that's going to probably happen in this game. We got Maokai against Darius in the top lane. Darius, there's some things that you could describe Darius as.
So he's a bruiser is what they're considered. A bruiser is normally a pretty tanky, relatively immobile, heavy damage dealing champion, who has like a little bit of CC in their kit. Like bruisers are usually mostly there to do damage and to be like a pseudo frontline, if you will. What a frontline is someone that like defends the back line, which are the squishy champions, which means the AD carry and the mid laner, the people that build only damage items and they don't build any defensive items.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the bruiser against a tank matchup is always going to be in favor of the bruiser, probably through level 11, depends on the matchup really, and then after level 11 it's kind of like the tank takes the game over at that point, because they'll be too tanky to kill, and they're also usually have a lot of CC built into their kit so that they can just win in a fight and win enough team fights. So it's just a matter of how you play it. I've had bruisers absolutely destroy me when I'm playing tanks. Vice versa. It's honestly how well you play the champion and how you play your role, because Darius is really meant to get on the back line and just 3-shot a champion. So
Yep, he is definitely a bruiser.
See.
Yeah, I've played against some Darius, and yes, he is a damager. Major. Looks like blue team is calling out their 5-point guard here, so they're going to try and make sure... Oh, the game has been paused. Stand by. Looks like... we were speaking of Darius. Yep. Looks like Darius is still loading in. Stand by. Let's see...
A summoner has reconnected.
There we
playing
go.
on that Starbucks Wi-Fi.
Right. And sometimes that happens, right? A lot of games you'll play and you'll see Summoner has disconnected and then Summoner has reconnected, and sometimes that can affect the game. Hopefully this isn't going to be an issue for us. We're going to try and make sure that that we feel as equally matched as possible in this series.
I think so. I think the matchup in mid, by the way, the Mordekaiser versus Malzahar is really good. I think it's pretty even, actually. I wouldn't say it's good for either one, because Malzahar has a passive, which is a extra ability each champion has that you don't cast. It's just what your character is like special to, and his passive gives him a shield. So if Malzahar tries to ult him, it'll proc the shield, and it won't ult. It won't cast his Death Realm on him, and he will be able to live. So what am I trying to say here? The Mordekaiser has to play this really safely, and he has to play this pretty smartly. Oh, I didn't even realize Flory got his champion stolen by
yeah,
stolen
I thought that was funny. We were talking about how MG Flory had been practicing the Malzahar, but he's not playing Malzahar. He's playing against him.
Yeah, I think it might be a counter pick. That's what I was thinking, but I'm not sure because I know the spell shield is pretty strong.
Yeah, definitely. What's also interesting is I actually was the one. I was the top lane player for MG Flory's team last season, and he was teaching me how to play the Mordekaiser that he's playing right now. So this will be interesting for me to watch here. All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can call out his mistakes.
I suppose. All right, so we got the junglers both starting on their leash. It looks like a blue team took the red bonus, and the red team took the blue bonus. Do you want to talk a little bit just about those bonuses?
So the blue buff is a buff to your mana and your CDR. So what that means is CDR is cooldown reduction. It is how fast your spells come off of cooldown, and then mana is the blue stuff below your name. Some champions have it, most champions have it, some don't. So a champion that takes blue buff early, they get more mana to farm with, so they can use their abilities more quickly, and they don't run out of mana as quickly. So it's pretty good for those really mana intensive champions. Well, that's a first blood mid.
Oh, snap.
What you saw
I missed
there
it.
is Mordekaiser was just duoing against the Malzahar. It looks like he took his W second, which gave him a area of effect damage, which procs the Malzahar spell shield. Then he just kept passively autoing he just kept passively autoing the Malzahar, and then Malzahar just didn't respect the damage and got killed by a Q.
Yep. I wish I was watching that, but yeah. That is what Mordekaiser does. Is he tries to hit the enemy champion 3 times.
It's three hits, right? And
Yep,
then you
3
get
hits. He hits with a regular attack or an ability, and if he hits them, it causes an aura of damage that just constantly deals damage to all enemies within the aura, and that's a huge bonus to him. Maybe we'll show you a little bit about that later here.
Gotcha. Yeah. So and then I'm guessing he probably had his E and his Q then, because his E is the grab, right?
Yeah, for him, yeah, the W is actually his shield, and that's just
The
something
W,
that he
so that's
uses
what I messed up on.
Yep. So E is the drag, and we're using the key, by the way, the key shortcuts. They're three basic abilities that most champions have, and then they have a fourth that they don't gain until 6th level. We call it an ultimate.
Yep. Ult for short, just if you ever hear me saying that. One other thing is, you see that Warwick standing here, he's helping the Darius break the freeze under the tower, because he does not want to be in this location farming. He wants the Maokai to have to walk up to get his CS.
Yep. Well, looks like the junglers are going after each other here.
Yep.
I'm not sure, but it looks like Warwick actually stole the blue buff. I'm not sure how I can confirm that.
Click on Warwick's name real quick.
I clicked on Vi, and I clicked on Warwick. I don't see the buff on either of them.
Oh, yeah. No, Vi got it. Vi secured it.
Vi secured it. Okay, so he was going in there to try and steal that kill there and gain the buff for himself. Okay, we've got some basic engages going on here. Nobody's really gaining too much ground. Haven't put a lot of damage on the other opposing towers, but it looks like some of the exchanges have forced some of the champs to back out. Darius going back, probably going to go for his first shopping run, see what items he starts to get here. Probably some typical damage dealing things.
Going back to the buffs.
Yes.
The red buff is a damage buff. It applies a on-hit burn. So when you auto-attack a enemy, it burns them and it slows them slightly. So you'll see a lot of champions that do a lot of auto-attacking, applying this burn to enemies early. You see a lot of ranged junglers also use this for early ganks, because it's very hard to gank when you don't have any form of CC early.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so various junglers, or the champions that spend their time not in a lane but killing all of the camps, they'll spend a lot of their time trying to bounce between these two different types of buffs, the blue buff and the red buff. The blue, which will give them some faster ability uses and more of them with the faster regeneration of their mana, and then the offensive buff, the red buff, which will put basically a burning extra damage on their targets.
It's very based off of what kind of champion you're playing, how important a buff is to you. If you're playing something that attacks a lot, like auto attacks, and doesn't use a lot of mana, then you want the red buff. If you play something that uses a lot of mana and doesn't auto attack much, like let's say let's just use Malzahar in this situation, you'll want the blue buff, because you want to be able to clear your jungle as efficiently as possible, and that means that you want the buff that will help your champion do that.
That's right. Looks like the red team is going to take the Ocean Drake here, and It looks like blue is aware of it, but they got here just a little too late. Oh goodness! But they take out Warwick, and now they're hitting. Oh, they just took out Leona as well. Oh my goodness! What a turnaround! Now blue is going to take this Drake. There it is, the first Drake of the game going to Team Blue. Wow, that was. I wasn't sure if the blue was actually going to get that.
One big thing that a lot of people don't think about as an important factor of the game is your back timing. You see this Malzahar sitting mid and getting some farm. I mean, he's farming well, don't get me wrong, but he was not in any situation to where he could follow Mordekaiser on that Drake contest, pretty much giving them the priority in the mid lane. So as soon as Ezreal walked over, landed the W, which is that ring around the champion, and the Q, it gave the Mordekaiser the free ability to walk in and just one-shot the AD carry. And it was really bad just because this the Malzahar did have his TP, so it would have been easier on him. Or it would have been better for him to back TP straight to the dragon and help them take the objective.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, it's just the small things that you got to be aware of in these games.
Oh yes, there's so many different choices that these players get to make. Each of them starts the game by choosing 2 spells. We call them summoner spells. And we've talked a little bit about those summoner spells. The TP, or the town portal, I guess. Teleport is the other name that we typically call it. It allows them to teleport from any point on the map to any friendly unit. That can be, well, not a champion. You can teleport to either the regular little creeps that are moving along your path, or you can teleport to one of the hidden wards that your team may have placed.
You can also teleport to turrets.
Oh, that's right. You can also teleport to the turrets. Yep. And so
Your turrets, not their turrets, of course.
Yeah, friendly. It's only friendlies that you can teleport to, but that gives you a huge advantage, right? When you have to go back to the beginning or to your base and have to walk all the way out because that's what you need to do, either because your teleport is on cooldown or because you didn't bring teleport. Then that's a huge amount of time that can affect the tempo of the game. So some of the other spells that are typically brought are usually one of the big ones is Flash. It's a super useful ability. It's an ability to instantly teleport to a short distance away from themselves. But a skilled player can use that Flash to major advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you really want to use to just get out of a bad situation or put yourself into a really advantageous situation. It's just kind of dependent on how the game's going and what you think you can do. It does have a lot of skill expression to it, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it looks like the bottom lane, they're putting a little damage on that tower. They took one of the those sectional pieces or plating from it, so that gave them some extra gold. And then looks like Vi is taking the Rift Herald. Now let's talk about this critter here. This thing is here during how long of the game?
So the Rift Herald is a scuttle crab that got, which is those little like things in the river that run back and forth. It's a scuttle crab that got what's it called? Affected by the Baron Void energy and got turned into the Rift Herald. What that is it's a buff. It spawns at 10 minutes and then again at 14 minutes or thereafter. I think it's a 4 minute after the first one was taken. So this one will spawn at like 14:30. What it does is you get a fast back, like the Baron back that you were referring to last game, and you also get the ability to summon the crab, which is the guy right there. It's Shelly, and she takes down towers very quickly.
Yep. We just watched Vi use that ability immediately. Picked up a what's the thing called? It's the when you,
the eye of the
eye. Yes, the eye of the herald. Picks it up, and then for an amount of time, that champion can crack it, or basically make a one-time use of it. Summon that crab, and that crab will basically fight down the lane for you, and it deals major amounts of damage to the structures, and of course it will help fight a little bit, but it mostly tends to target the structures.
It's interesting. It's an interesting buff, and I think it's really good for the game because I think he just killed himself.
Oh no, where are we at?
He's living. He's living.
Oh, is this?
Talking about,
Is this
I was talking about Matt.
Mortimer?
Yeah.
Yep. He was playing risky. They're really wanting to take the first tower. That's what is it? 100 gold buff extra, just beyond the amount that you get for it.
I don't know how much more gold it is.
We'll have to keep an eye out for it. But the first tower to go down is going to give a monetary bonus.
Yeah, it gives a local bonus, and then you also get, like, the main thing about taking towers early is the plates. Like, you get 160 gold per plate, so the faster you can take those down, the better. One thing that a lot of people don't really realize is you actually take plates faster as a melee champion and on your own than you do in a group of people with auto attack range champions, or range champions, if you will.
Vi is taking on this dragon all by herself. That is their second Drake that they've taken. She didn't need any help there because, well, none of the opposing red team was there to try and stop her.
Yeah, this game's looking like quite a rout right now. Just because Mordekaiser has that huge advantage mid lane, it's going to be a tough one to dig themselves out of. Darius is winning in farm at top lane, and Malzahar is still farming pretty well. He actually is ahead in farm right now, so it's just a matter of if he can not feed too hard, really.
Yep, indeed. Looks like they're taking some bonuses here. They've got 2 Drakes in advantage. Monetary, somehow they have 3,000 gold in advantage as well. So they're picking up on those extra farms. I guess I wasn't paying attention. I suppose they have 7 kills to the 0 kills on red. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some major bonuses going to blue right now.
Yeah, Ezreal's up 40 CS and he's got 3 kills. They have they have 6 tower plates taken right now, so that's what, 6 times 160. That's already a lot of gold right there. I don't want to do the math, but
it's fine. We can see the numbers on the board and make some pretty good assumptions, right? So I was just looking at the scoreboard here. It looks like we got it a little out of order. The bottom should usually be the support, but we got Israel on the very bottom. So Israel is swapped with Lulu there, but it's okay. All you got to know is that we got Ezreal there with 121 minion kills versus, let's see, I forget her name. Who's the ADC on red team?
Kaisa,
thank you. Kaisa has 76, right? And so those minion kills are the farm, or the number of small minion kills that they have, and that's a monetary advantage.
I mean, this game, at this point, it's about small advantages and getting, ahead of the opponents, but at this point they have a pretty large advantage, and just sitting at a point where they have some pretty good scaling champions that have gone even in lane, and the ones that you wanted to get ahead have gone ahead is really good. Like, you have the Vi farming evenly with the Warwick, which Vi loses early to Warwick. And then you have Maokai farming evenly. I mean, he's down 20 farm, but I mean, I would say that's a pretty good, like,
disparity.
Disparity. Thank you. To the Darius, honestly, like,
definitely.
That's where he wants to be. So at this point, like, it's looking really, really good for the blue team.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Maokai, like, I've played Maokai into difficult matchups like Darius, and usually I consider myself lucky if I stay about 30 minion kills below the other. So yes, this Maokai is doing a pretty decent job here. Looks like they're all signaling that somebody's missing. Maokai telling everybody that Darius is not here. Where's Darius? They don't know. But Darius is just walking all the way back.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's cracked first tower yet. I mean, all it would take is one push by the Mordekaiser and the Vi mid lane to take the tower down, but they decided to play around the objectives and play safer.
Yep. They did slow down their pushes against that middle lane. They're just stay ahead and continue winning the game. Yeah, it looks like the first tower to break is probably going to be Red's middle tower, unless they can turn some things around. If they were to rally their team to try and take the mid tower, then they probably could. But that would be a hefty cost, right? Whenever the team all gets together to do something, there's kind of a cost involved, right? They are no longer collecting farm in their lane. And also, when multiple heroes, or champions I should say, are in a lane and are gaining experience, they actually gain less experience. They actually divvy it amongst themselves.
Yep. And it's not something that, I mean, you want to do, but I mean, if you're going to group, you want to group for a major objective or to push, push a turret in. Because getting those small turret advantages as well is just really big for your whole team, and having a team that, you have a few turrets on the map is a matter of winning the game versus losing the game. Because if you're running away and you have your tier 2 tower there to protect you, then Darius would be less likely to chase you, or Maokai would be less likely to chase you, as opposed to an open mid lane.
Oh, Rift Herald.
So
here it is. They just used the second Rift Herald, and it is charging into the mid lane. It's going to be difficult to protect the tower from this. Let's see what happens. Oh, yep, that initial charge takes it down. First turret advantage going to blue team. Looks like we've got some rallies going here. Blue team is going to now try and collapse up on top. Malzahar came up here to try and get an advantage, wasn't able to, and they've teamed up against him. Darius getting out of there.
Or try to do an offensive ult or TP there to save the Darius and try to turn that fight on the Maokai, but fortunately Mordekaiser had TP as well, so he's able to answer that call, and they're both TP at the same time.
Yep, that's one of the
Good
advantages.
reaction by the Mordekaiser.
Yes, it was. Yep. Having teleport gives you a bit of an advantage. You can get to the to different parts on the map a lot faster than would be expected, and so yep, he definitely made use of that. Darius still pushing back, still about a little over 20 CS above Maokai, but they did lose one of their fellow champions on that lane. Let's see if he can make up for it. He's got a little more damage on the turret, as we would expect, Darius being a lot more aggressive of a champ. Meanwhile, we've got Red. Looks like they're rallying to the middle. What are they doing here? Are they looking for the dragon? So far, Blue has taken 3 dragons in a row, so this is 1 dragon away from the dragon spirit, or soul, I should say. Sorry.
They're able to find their picks, though.
Oh my goodness! Look at that. Red had the numbers, and they took it. They took out 2 of the blue members. They have an advantage here. What are they going to push? Are they going to try and commit on something?
I think they're just going to try to, catch their breath here. They're able to slow the game down a little bit more and help them get some gold on some key members. So
yeah,
it was a good pick. Like I said, you have the Warwick ult into the Malzahar ult. It really didn't have any chance to go anywhere. So
yep. Now they're going to try and rally over here to the bottom lane. Looks like Mordekaiser putting the pressure on their next tower, and so let's see what they can bring. Mordekaiser's going to back off.
Be on the lookout for an item called QSS being built. You see Ezreal already has one. It's the gray band in his inventory.
Let's see, which character?
What that does, Ezreal.
Ezreal, okay. Ezreal.
You see he has that, it's like the gray, like, ribbon type thing.
Muramana.
What that, yeah, it's right next to it.
Okay.
Quicksilver Sash. It's called QSS. What that does,
that one,
or shortened. What that does is it allows you to remove all crowd control debuffs. So if you're getting ulted by Malzahar or Warwick, you can actually hit that button and it'll stop the ult.
Nice.
So
yes.
It's a really good item. By just getting caught there, though.
Yep, that was an unfortunate being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, they go for Drake.
Oh my goodness, wow. This is an early Baron call. 21 minutes, and they are going for Baron. This is going to be a huge bonus for them. They are going to push those lanes in a monstrous way if they can pull this off. They've got the damage. They've got their is this their entire team? I don't think it is. No, looks like Mordekaiser's playing point here. Yep,
Mordekaiser's zoning them off.
He's zoning off the other heroes so they can't contest it. There it is. Wow. Pulling up the Baron bonus. And it looks like they're not even going to go back and shop. They are going to push immediately. They're all forming in the middle here. They're going to take this tower pretty easily. They've only got, well, 3 of the red members here to contest, but that's not a good number. Some of them are getting out of place. Nope, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. The only survivor, Darius, who is doing a split push on the top.
Yeah, I think that's game.
That is a huge push. They're going to lose 2 towers and likely the inhibitor as well. I think they're going for the jugular here. I think you're right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just go for it. I mean, I guess they're up.
Well, they're backing off because the red team members are now starting to respawn. So they've got almost their full complement here. Darius has come back home as well, so the entire 5 of them could get a good team engage, and if they can, that'll give them a chance to regroup. Some red pings here, so they're wondering if blue is going for the Drake, and they certainly are. Oh dear. So they used the Baron bonus, pushed all the way to the base, took out their inhibitor, and then walked down here and took the Drake. That was quite a timing pressure there.
Yep, now they have the Cloud Drake soul, so that gives them bonus movement speed after they ult. It'd be really good for the Maokai and the Vi who are trying to get onto people, as well as actually the Mordekaiser, because he can just run at people with the ult and just, be way more.
Mordekaiser with extra speed is a scary thing to behold.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Dragon Soul, the special ability that you get off of the 4th kill, isn't that an ability that is actually lost if you are not present for the kill?
Nope, it's a game-long buff that everyone on the team gets.
Oh dear, that is a super buff.
So the only buffs that are like that is Baron and what's the other one? Baron and the Elder Drake.
Oh, the
if you're
Elder
dead,
Drake. Okay.
If you're dead during both of those, then you won't get the buff.
My goodness. Now they are pushing in this top lane. They're still making use of that Baron upgrade, or the bonus. You see those purple swirlies underneath them? They're making their extra minions extra strong, and they are also, with just major number presence, their entire team is taking out this tower here, putting pressure on them. I don't know if Red can fight this off.
Baron buff did go away at the beginning of that fight, but I don't think it really matters.
No, at this point they have huge advantage here. They've taken out 4 of the red team, and Warwick is down here just trying to fight off the minions. Oh, this is so much pressure on them. Okay, Warwick goes down. That is an ace, and I don't think Blue is going to have a hard time ending this game right here and now.
One thing to note, and what they call it in LCS, they call it Baron power play, because they're really just trying to get as much as physically possible off the play before the buff expires. So it reminds me of a power play kind of in hockey when you're a man down, because it really does seem like you have extra person on the map when you have the Baron empowered minions and the extra damage from the Baron buff. So it really just made it easy for them to win that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You saw a lot of people when they first get Baron, they're going to get a lot of extra money off of that kill, and so a lot of people will go back. They call it backing. They'll teleport back to their base, buy some more items, and then they'll come back for the rebound. But Team Blue, they just kept pushing. Over and over again. They made full use of that Baron bonus, and wow, look at the damage output of Ezreal on that team. That is amazing. Like,
He definitely popped off.
yes, he did.
No
I
joke
think
there.
he got a lot of money early and just kept making use of it. That is a huge amount of damage there by comparison to the rest of the teams. Okay, well, that is game 2 of the Coach Rivals series.
I'm reading the Twitch chat right now. Ezreal getting banned every game after this. Yeah, probably.
Right?
Probably.
Oh, that was some major numbers from Ezreal there. That was a huge amount of damage.
Hey guys, I want to thank all the Twitch chat and the Twitch viewers out there for watching us. I know a lot of your coaches really, really appreciate it. I know that I just got some messages from my students and loved it. So make sure you message your coach, ask them how they did, tell them what they can do better, and coach them a little bit, coach them up, you know.
Don't flame though. No flame.
All right, I just sent that over to you, and Robbie's gonna message you, and we should be good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
All right, good job, guys.
Thank you. So yeah, we're gonna go on a break while we pull that video down. I'm probably gonna take a little bit to try and download it, and when I have it, Riley, are you gonna stick around and we'll talk about this next one as we're watching it?
Yeah, I mean, it's dependent on if it's already precasted. It sounds like it has been already. That's what Matt made it seem to me. So
perfect. Then
just pop it up and we'll see what happens. And then if we need to, then we can talk over. And if not, we'll just let it roll.
Sounds good to me. So then let's just say our send-offs now then, right? Because if there's somebody already casting it, then this will be the last game for us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if it's our last game, then thanks for coming out and supporting the local league scene. And I appreciate everybody in chat keeping it lively.
Yep, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. It's always exciting for us coaches to do something like this. We want to do this to let you all just have a little fun and kind of take a chance to be the spectator of somebody else that you care about, right? So thanks everybody for joining us.
Great time.
Indeed.